on searching for the high.
Bonjour everyone, welcome back. My name is Cyril. I have been a stem cell researcher for quite some time, and this is why I can tell you about the science that is behind skincare. And for today's video we are going to talk about good molecules and see if it is actually better from the ordinary. And I will let Sir Guabao go back to sleep because apparently he's not very happy that I'm waking up to do the introduction of this video. So if you look at the range of products from good molecule, they are very similar from the one from the ordinary, and some of the products are sort of, I would say, dupe of the ordinary. From what I see, the biggest, I would say, difference between the two is the packaging. Both of them are coming with those pipettes that I actually pretty enjoy, especially when you have a very liquidy product. I find them very practical, and also you can precisely dose the amount of product, which is something that is always important in my for actives. So that I love. And for today's, I have never tried any product from Good Molecules, and the aim of this video is to just check out the formula to know if it is worth a try or not. And I always think that those kind of videos are very important because at the end of the day you are going to invest your money, even though Good Molecules is very affordable like the ordinary. But because those some of the products are very similar, the whole idea is to know which one is better, just in terms of formula, and then to try it. So first I'm going to compare the hyaluronic serum from Good Molecules versus the one from the ordinary that contains 2% of hyaluronic acid. So from scratch, and you will see that it is, I would say, a tendency of Good Molecules. The main difference with the ordinary is that Good Molecules does not disclose the concentration of active. For some of the products they do, which is something that I'm not really crazy about, because we know that for certain ingredients we do need to have a precise concentration to be efficient, or else it is, I would say, pretty useless. And also, it is important for certain actives to really know the concentration, to know how you can incorporate them and try them on your own routine, because some people are very sensitive towards some actives. So I always like to recommend products that have a lower concentration, whereas other people, or because you skin goal, I would say, is different, you would want to have a higher concentration to achieve the results. Typically, I'm thinking about those of you who really want to eradicate hyperpigmentation. Likely you will need a very high strength concentration of some of the actives. So it's always important to have the concentration. Unfortunately, lots and lots of brands does not disclose the concentration, which is very unfortunate. So the serum from Good Molecules, the hyaluronic acid, contains mainly glycerin and one form of hyaluronic acid, which is the sodium hyaluronate. So this is not, I would say, the best form, because what is important with hyaluronic acid is to have the biggest form that is really going to attract the most the water into the dead skin layer, because I remind you that hyaluronic acid is not a proper anti-aging ingredient, even though lots of brands are selling hyaluronic acid as an anti-aging ingredient. This is not the case. This is what we call a humectant. It is a beautiful humectant that naturally occurs deep down in our skin, in the dermis. You barely find it in the epidermis, but when applied topically, it is a beautiful humectant. And usually the best type of product that contains hyaluronic acid are the one that contains different forms of hyaluronic acid, especially the biggest form. And this is not the case of this one. It only contains the, I would say, the medium size hyaluronic acid. So on the contrary, the one from the ordinary that I actually use from time to time in my own skincare routine is very different, because it contains two different forms of hyaluronic acid, especially one form that I love, which is hyaluronate cross polymer. And this one is a beautiful hyaluronic acid form, because it is very complex and very big, and therefore it will attract more water. This one also is interesting because it contains B5 vitamin, which is basically panthenol, and panthenol is also a beautiful humectant and also a skin soothing ingredient. So I would say double up. It is, in addition, a serum that is very humectant and very rich. It is really going to attract water, and at the same time you have another ingredient that is skin soothing though. So just by looking at the two formula, for sure the one from the ordinary wins, and it's so much more interesting, and they are basically for the same price. So I would go for the ordinary. So now I'm going to look at the Brightening Serum from Good Molecules. So this one uses arbutin. So again, it is known that arbutin, especially at 2%, is effective to brighten the skin tone. By brightening the skin tone, I do not mean that it's going to whiten your skin, but if you have hyperpigmentation, this is definitely a type of ingredient that is interesting to incorporate into your routine. Don't expect any major results from only one active. When you have hyperpigmentation, you need to have a variety of excellent actives to really tackle the hyperpigmentation. I have a video which is the hyperpigmentation terminator, which is a routine only dedicated to tackle the hyperpigmentation. This is a very strong routine, but that is really going to help you to achieve a brighter skin tone, so you can check my video. So this serum also have hyaluronic acid, which is a good idea to act as a humectant. And basically that's it, so it's very simple. So this one is reminiscent from another one from The Ordinary, which is the 2% arbutin. So in this one you know that you get 2% arbutin, which you don't know with the Good Molecules, and you also have 8% of L-ascorbic acid. So 8% is not I would say optimal. It is especially when you have hyperpigmentation, it is better to go for a higher concentration. I'm thinking about 50% or 21%. The one that I love to recommend is the one by Wistrand that contains 21.5% of L-ascorbic acid. But still, it is much more interesting, and again, for the price, I would definitely go for the one from The Ordinary, because you have the power of arbutin. You know that you are paying for 2%, so it will be effective, plus you have the L-ascorbic acid to increase the brightening effect of the arbutin. So again, The Ordinary wins. So the next product is about niacinamide. This is the Good Molecules niacinamide. Of course, this one is very similar from the one from The Ordinary that contains 10% niacinamide plus 1% of zinc. So when you look at the formula, both of them are extremely similar. The main active ingredients are niacinamide, and both of them contain 10% niacinamide. So which one to choose? The one from Good Molecules only contains niacinamide and no zinc, and therefore I would recommend this one for all of you who are not acne prone, or at least you are not looking at improving the anti-acne ink properties of niacinamide. Niacinamide is a beautiful skin brightening ingredient. It is also known as pro-vitamin B5. So it helps to counteract hyperpigmentation. It also boosts the synthesis of key lipids in the skin, aka ceramides. It is also anti-inflammatory, and it seems also to have anti-acne properties. The one from The Ordinary is very similar, but it also has 1% of zinc. This is zinc PSA, if I'm not mistaken, and zinc PSA is also an excellent ingredient for those of you who are acne prone. So if you are acne prone and you want to have all the good benefits from niacinamide, plus you want to improve the anti-acne fight, definitely goes with the one from The Ordinary. So both of them are pretty, I would say, similar. If you don't have any major issue with acne, or you just don't want to experiment the drying effect of zinc, go for the Good Molecules one. So now let's talk about the serum from Good Molecules, the overnight exfoliating serum, and this one in terms of ingredient is very similar to the glycolic toner from The Ordinary. So the serum from Good Molecules contains 8% of glycolic acid, 1% of lactic acid, and also 0.1% of salicylic acid, which is BHA. So basically this is a mix between AHA and BHA. So AHA are alpha hydroxy acid. They are a type of acid that are only soluble in water, and what they are going to do is to exfoliate, to help to shed out the very top layer of dead skin. And how we think that it works, we think that those acid is going to destabilize the lesions between the dead skin, which I call desmosome, and therefore the dead skin will shed out because they will no longer be attached to each others. Glycolic acid is the smallest and therefore it is the most potent one, while lactic acid is more in between, and it is also an excellent humectant. But basically, because it contains 8% glycolic acid, this is mainly a glycolic acid, and this is why I compare it to the glycolic toner from The Ordinary. It also contains salicylic acid at 0.1%. I always love when you combine AHA plus BHA. BHA are beta-hydroxy acid that are soluble in lipids, and we know that salicylic acid is an excellent acid to declog the pores. On its own, I am not a big fan of it because I have never found that it is that effective. But when you have salicylic acid combined with AHA like glycolic acid, this is when the great results are coming, and if you are acne prone, I always recommend to combine those two. But 0.1% is very, very low and won't do much for your skin. My main problem with this serum is that it contains essential oils, and this is a big no-no, especially in a peeling solution. A peeling solution is going to just push further down the fragrant component from the essential oils, and this is definitely not something that you want. Also keep in mind that any peeling solution, whatever they are going to create inflammation in your skin, so you want to help your skin to heal and to be soothed by those ingredients, because from time to time creating inflammation is a good thing because it creates better and healthy looking skin, but you don't want to add any I would say icky ingredients such as essential oils. Of course, the glycolic toner from The Ordinary. If you're not new to my content, I've been recommending this one for a very long time. It is so affordable. You also get so much more than this serum. It contains basically 7% of glycolic acid, which is excellent. It is not too concentrated to the point that it's going to irritate too much your skin. At the same time, it has the proper concentration to really be effective on the skin, and you don't have any fragrant components, so for sure I recommend the one from The Ordinary and not the one from Good Molecules. Good Molecules also have a super peptide serum, so this one is definitely a sort of dupe from The Ordinary, the buffet one. So the buffet exists in two versions. You have the oldest version and the new one that contains also 1% of copper peptide that I'm going to talk about after, but basically from the one from Good Molecules you get only 2 peptides versus the one from The Ordinary where you get 6 to 9 peptides. So 6 is in the oldest version, and with the copper peptide you get 9. Of course the one from The Ordinary is much more expensive, but in terms of peptides I found that the scientific literature on them is pretty, I would say so, because most of it is only derived from in vitro models that are very far from the reality. So they were not, I would say, properly tested in vivo for most of them. This is not the case for copper peptides, and you will see that this week I will have also a review on the new Niacin product that also features the copper peptide, and I will tell you more about it, but basically this peptide, there are a lot of scientific literature of it. So I don't consider peptide serum or in general peptides as a must-have in any skincare routine. Most of the time I don't even have it in my own skincare routine, but if you are already using retinol, they are a great addition to it to even go further and potentially, I would say, increase the anti-aging effect, but they are not a requirement. So just by looking at the formula, definitely the one from The Ordinary is so much better. Yet it's a little bit pricier, but if you want to invest into the peptides, it's always better to have a big variety of peptide rather than putting all your money in one. If you're on a tight budget, only use the oldest version, but definitely if you have a little bit more of money, go straight away with the one that contains 1% of copper peptide. As always, I'm going to link down all the product mentioned at the end of this video. So now I'm going to talk about the 2 cleansers. The one from the Good Molecule, which is a cleansing balm, and the other one, which is I would say a recent addition from The Ordinary, which is the Squalane cleanser. Both of them I've never tried them. Just by looking at the formula from the one from the Good Molecules, it is very similar to the one from Cliniques. So you need to be careful because for the price point, I think it's $50, you get 75 grams, so it is a little bit pricey. And the one from Clinique, you get 90 grams, so they are almost the same price. I think there is a $5 difference or something like that. So they I would say are pretty similar. The one from Good Molecules also contain essential oils. Because it is in a cleanser, this is not necessarily a break dealer for me. I really don't like it when it's in a toner, serum, and also moisturizer, because they are like the first product that you're going to put on your skin. But in a rinse-off product. I don't mind them that much, and if it smells good, it is always nice because it has this pleasant feeling, I would say. Obviously, if you are sensitive to them, don't use it, but this one looks very promising for sure, and I will definitely buy it to try it. I also love cleansing balm when I am on the go, especially on vacation and on the plane, because they are not liquid, so they don't count as liquid, and also because they are solid, you reduce the chance that they are going to leak and etc. So the one from The Ordinary, the Squalane Cleanser, I would say a bit so-so about it, because the formula is very interesting. Again, it is a little bit pricey, but I have read online review that is not very efficient at removing makeup, so I'm a bit afraid that it's not that efficient, and the whole point of this product is to lift all the impurities and the makeup, and especially the sunscreen filters, into the whole face, then rinse it, and followed by an acidic water-based cleanser. So definitely, just by looking at them, I would go for the one from Good Molecules, and I think I'm going to buy it in the future. The last product that I'm going to talk about is the Brightening Toner from Good Molecules that features niacinamide. I have to say that just by looking at the formula, this one is pretty promising, and I would definitely invest in it. So it contains, like I said, niacinamide, and also a new derivative of vitamin C, which is the 3-O-ethyl L-ascorbic acid. So there is an ethyl group that has been linked to the ascorbic acid to stabilize it. Because of this, I doubt that it has any antioxidant properties, but it seems to be an excellent brightening ingredient, so it is interesting to have it, I would say, in a toner. What I also like about this toner is that it is fragrance-free, alcohol-free, so you don't have any major notorious, I would say, allergen. And overall, when you look at the formula, it is interesting to have niacinamide plus this new derivative of vitamin C. So you can go also to my blog at cyrillaurent.com, because I've also reviewed other products from Good Molecules and tell you what I think about them. So tell me down below in the comment section if you have ever tried one of the products of Good Molecules and what you think about it. I'm also thinking that I should probably do a little bit more videos about The Ordinary, because I have at home a lot of product from them, and I could probably walk you through the different actives and how I have used them, and how I like also to incorporate them, and I would say recommend them into different type of routines, because what I love the most about The Ordinary is, first of all, the simplicity of the formula. They are all fragrance-free, essential oils-free, so basically they are very safe, and you also know the concentration of active, which is so important, and therefore you can really tailor your skincare routine for a very affordable price. Overall, I'm not that impressed about Good Molecules, and I don't think that it is, I would say, a proper dupe of The Ordinary. The Ordinary is much better overall. So if you like this video, please thumbs up. You can also subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to ring the bell to not miss any of my new videos, and to see again my beautiful dog. His name is Guabao. You can also follow me on Instagram. I am Cyril Laurent. I have a lot of content here that is different from the one that I have on YouTube. And thank you so much for watching me, and I will see you next time. Au revoir, bye bye.